Hello, and welcome to this live stream of today's public meeting, brought to you by Downtown Grand Rapids, Inc. Please stay tuned, and we'll see you shortly. Hello, and welcome to this live stream of today's public meeting, brought to you by Downtown Grand Rapids, Inc. Please stay tuned, and we'll see you shortly. Hello, and welcome to this live stream of today's public meeting, brought to you by Downtown Grand Rapids, Inc. Please stay tuned, and we'll see you shortly. Hello, and welcome to this live stream of today's public meeting, brought to you by Downtown Grand Rapids, Inc. Please stay tuned, and we'll see you shortly. Hello, and welcome to this live stream of today's public meeting, brought to you by Downtown Grand Rapids, Inc. Please stay tuned, and we'll see you shortly. Hello, and welcome to this live stream of today's public meeting, brought to you by Downtown Grand Rapids, Inc. Please stay tuned, and we'll see you shortly. Hello, and welcome to this live stream of today's public meeting, brought to you by Downtown Grand Rapids, Inc. Please stay tuned, and we'll see you shortly. Hello, and welcome to this live stream of today's public meeting, brought to you by Downtown Grand Rapids, Inc. Please stay tuned, and we'll see you shortly. Hello.
Yes.
And welcome
Good morning,
to this live
everyone.
stream of today's public meeting, brought to you by
I'd like to
Downtown
call to
Grand
order
Rapids,
this
Inc.
Downtown
Please
Development
stay tuned,
Authority
and
Board
we'll
Member
see you
meeting
shortly.
Wednesday, December 10th, 2025 at 9:01 a.m. First order of business, approving the November 12th minutes. They were in our packets. Are there any corrections or comments?
So moved.
Support.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Next are the June 30th, 2025 financials. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, I'm glad to see all of you again. A little bit saddened to be back. Your packet contains June financial statements. They are marked as preliminary as the time that I sent them to get put on the agenda. I hadn't seen anything back at this point from the auditors. We do have those statements back, and there will be no changes. So these numbers are final. I also want to point out the list of expenditures. I didn't realize that June preliminary statements had already come to the board, so there was a little miscommunication between Mandy and I on that. So this list, most of these items on this list you have seen before and accepted already, but this list does contain the excess that happened after the preliminaries were presented to you as well. I'm happy to take any questions if there are any.
Any questions? All right. I thought we accepted the financials already in June. Do we need a motion for that?
We did the preliminary, right?
Okay, so we'll accept the
Yes,
final.
and of course, the auditors will be back with their, official audit.
All right, so
I
I
don't know if it
will,
just needs to be received and filed at this point, or?
It doesn't hurt. So.
okay, so let's entertain a motion to accept. All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Next are the September 30th, 2025. financials.
These are actually the October. I didn't update the balance sheet.
sorry.
I'm sorry. So that your balance sheet title
Even
didn't
better.
get updated, but the other statements all do say October. One thing that I do want to point out on the October statements, the income that's coming in from the soccer stadium, I think it's coming from Grand Action, it was deposited into the local tax fund, and it should be in the non-tax fund. So I'll get an entry to move that over. Otherwise, things look good. Spending seems to be on track. I'm, again, happy to take any questions if there are any.
Any questions on the October financials? All right, easy peasy. I'll
you.
entertain a motion to accept. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you.
Thanks, Tricia.
2026 meeting schedule. Do we have to approve it?
We
Yes,
do
you
typically.
do. Yeah, under the Open Meetings Act, you
You'd
do.
think I'd know by now. Sorry. Morning.
You're fine.
You can always change it later.
Yep.
if you need to.
And those dates were in the packet.
Yes.
And we're not proposing any change to the time.
Time or anything.
So,
So I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
support.
All right. Any other comments or questions?
And,
Yes.
sorry, just does this time still work for everyone going forward? Good, okay.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. We got a lot of motions today, Mr. Kelly. Community garden funding request.
End of the year stuff, you know?
Good morning,
morning.
everyone. So now we are coming through with 2026 planning. The bulk of this ask is for our Jade Rabbit contract. They do all of our education and facilitation at the garden, all of our workshops, making sure people know what they're doing so they can be successful. And then the other bit of this is for equipment, a mural to hopefully finally get painted on our shipping container there, irrigation repair, and composting at this space. So the total ask today is for $53,000 for our 2026 growing season. And I will take any questions.
Questions? It's a very lively group today. All right, I'd entertain a motion to approve the funding request. All right, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lon.
GR Forward Update Consultant Recommendation. Morning, Mr. Miller.
So yeah, briefly, as the memo stated, we went through a process over the last 4 months. We issued an RFQ, a request for qualifications for this work, and got 14 submissions. And we had a 7-member review committee, including Member McNeely and Member Bliss, to review those, and we ended up shortlisting 3 of those submissions and then interviewing those 3 consultants. After that process, it was pretty much unanimous that we move forward with Interface Studio. Interface Studio, if you remember, was the firm that originally did the first plan. So it's got some good continuity to both the plan and the team and the understanding of both our organization and downtown Grand Rapids. So I think it really sort of meshed really well with some of our goals. And as you may know, this is an update. We're not basically starting from scratch. So the plan here is to have an update to the GR Forward plan, really looking at the plan's existing goals, principles, and strategies, and focusing on what current trends and headwinds might be in the next 10 years so that we can look at getting more things implemented and having a guide toward that implementation. One of the things that I would like to mention in regards to the approach that Interface proposed was an operations manual for our organization. So I think that that's an important distinction here. 3 of the 14 teams actually proposed a similar kind of approach where they're actually doing a plan, but also looking at our operations and our team and how we might be positioned to implement these things in the next 10 years. So we will be moving forward with both of those endeavors parallel in this project. As of today, we're still working with Interface to refine the scope and look at the fees related to that scope. And so the way that we're approaching this then is, I'm sorry, I had some slides here that I forgot to show. But I think that one of the things about Interface that's interesting is they've worked in so many different scales of communities in the last decade. These are really just the communities they've worked in the last 10 years. I think the middle image showing some of their projects, and this is important, is that like the Macon Action Plan from Georgia, they did an original plan back in 2015 for that community, and then were hired to do an update to that plan in 2023. So very similar both in timeline and scope to the way that we are proceeding. So they have some experience looking at their existing plans that they did and coming back and doing an update. So we're a little excited about that. And then you can see the sort of proposed team that they submitted with their submissions. We're still working through some of those team members, how those team members might or might not interface with this plan. I think the 2 big ones on this scope is the Altogether, which is a firm that's going to be doing a lot of the public engagement aspects of this, and then obviously Interface, who's leading the project. And it's important to note that also that Altogether is working on the city's zoning ordinance as well. So we have some crossover there that may prove beneficial to both projects as we move forward. So the goal here is to continue to move forward. And the way that we are approaching this is that we are requesting that the DDA support the project with $200,000 today. We will be asking the Monroe North TIFA later today for some additional funding, and that's to get the project moving once we have a scope and fee defined. And then we expect that at some point in time, we will be coming back to this board to ask for the remainder of that fee that we're still negotiating. We suspect that it's going to be more than the $250 that we're asking for today from both organizations. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions. The one thing I would like to mention is that we're building a steering committee right now for the project. Both Member McNeely and Member Bliss have agreed to continue on that committee. Our expectation is probably a committee of about 15, maybe 20, somewhere in that range. So if you have any ideas or comments about that, certainly willing to listen and hear those. And then I think any comments or questions that you may have related to where this plan, or there hot button items that any of you have that we would like us to have a discussion with this consultant that may incorporate those into the scope. And with that, I'll open questions and dialogue.
Yes.
Chair, I'll just make a comment, having been a part of this process up until now. One, I just want to say, Mark and the entire team they've just been exceptional. I thought the process was really well organized. The leaders of the firms, I think, rose to the top pretty quickly. And then during the interview process, at least for me, Interface was hands down the best candidate. The team they put together is really dynamic. The breadth of the work that they've done since they worked with us the very first time is really impressive. And I felt like they have a good pulse on our city's current strengths, our opportunities, where we need to spend some more time. The two elements that I found that I personally would like to explore with them as we move forward is they have a lot of experience, and they brought in some individuals who've done some good analyses of retail districts in downtown cores, and that's been something that we've worked on for a long time. And then the second one is this idea of, like, as the organization continues to take on more, are we continuing to have the best structure? So I think their insight on that will also be really helpful. So those were my thoughts. I know, Greg, you read all the proposals as well.
I would agree with, first, the comment that the staff's talent as project managers in their organization really comes through. Like, it's just, every engagement with this team is always impressive. And that can be said in every city. So I think it's a huge testament to the team and the leadership here. I agree, Interface is very impressive. One question that sort of pops to my mind, and Mr. Chair, I don't know if this is appropriate for now or for something for us to ruminate on, but what is this body's expectation on the other side of this process? What's the headline that means this was a successful process? Because it is labor intensive, time intensive, treasure intensive. And so what is it that we're looking for on the other side? And I know that the staff has thoughts as well, but at some point I think it'd be worth sort of surfacing or having that conversation so that we can help steer it towards that end. But I feel like that was one step that maybe we ought to have. But other than that, thus far, the process is amazing. And I was curious, the context of 14 responses seems pretty robust. I don't know if it is, but if it is that an indication of sort of the street cred or branding of the community in that professional marketplace, that we would have such a robust response? But anyways, a lot there. Let's throw that out.
Those are good points.
Yeah, Mark, feel free to jump in. I would just maybe say on the last point, I think it is an indication that I think a lot of teams wanted to work here. I'm thinking back to the initial plan. I think we had 10 to 15 responses, but I think people generally recognize that as far as the downtown goes, like, Grand Rapids has a lot going on, and they wanted to work here. And I think that came through a lot in the interviews, if not just the responses. So yeah, I think that's a fair point to read into. On the just sort of general goal setting, I think that's definitely a conversation that we would have with all of you and at this board as that process gets going. I think we want to go into it understanding what you want to see. So that's something we can definitely get into as the process gets going. But Mark, feel free to add anything.
I think that's good, sorry.
I think it'd be good to review the previous plan and where we might think, not that we could have done better or that we could have had a better action plan, or maybe where we didn't rise to the level that we hoped, that we could maybe incorporate some of those into the new plan so that we're, yeah. Mayor?
Yeah, I'll confess that, this is maybe me saying I haven't done my homework, because I want to read some more of this, but, and B, macro, this is not a concern, this is a, sticking a pin in the board. Like, Al, you're here, I think that I'm here, former mayor, Mayor Emeritus Bliss is here, and, obviously, I feel like I've got excellent lines of communication with the county, with Tim, but pulling in an outside consultant, again, maybe we make too much of our ability to collaborate and talk about public-private partnerships and all that, but the fact of the matter is, like, it is a real strength for this community, our ability to really keep deeply communicating across lines, and I don't want this siloed. I guess that's, none of us do, but I guess what I'm saying is, an outside consultant dropping in and working for one group, I want to make sure that there's really deep communication with the long-term plan the county's doing necessarily, and that is happening in, the entire city and the entire region. And I just want to, at least another minor pin I want to put in here. I am currently advocating that the city work on getting a consultant to figure out how to answer the question of what do we do with the $50 million in road funding money that we just got that we hadn't expected. So there's a new significant chunk of money. It's $10 million a year. The best guess seems to be that it's going to last for at least 5 years until the new deal's cut. Well, that's real money. And I want whatever we're talking about planning in downtown to talk to the rest of the city. And I know that's maybe all self-evident, but I just want to say it so that it's said. So if we hire some consultants to answer that question for us, I want to make sure that they're robustly in communication with and pulling in the same direction with whatever vision gets developed out of this consultant.
Chair,
Yes.
so I didn't know you were doing that. That's great.
I mean, we'll see if I pull it off.
Yeah,
right?
well, you can
I'm just
work
saying
on
that's what I'd
Ottawa
like.
and Ionia two-way with
Yeah, you got it.
Mayor, I actually really appreciate what you said. And one thing that that kind of veered me to interface, so I was city commissioner when the GR Forward plan was created, and I was a part of a lot of that process, that community engagement process, and they were then, I think, head and shoulders more effective at engaging people and making sure that the tent was really large as they got feedback about the plan. And I think what they've learned since then, and some of the ideas they have for community engagement and input and cross-sector, they knew about almost every plan that has been done in the city since the inception of GR Forward, and they talked about integration and alignment and bringing in aspects of, return to the river and the mobility plan and economic development plan. And so I do think they have a good pulse on that. I think what you'll find is that their level of engagement will be more robust than probably most other processes we've seen led by the city. How's that?
Yep, good,
Yeah.
good.
And just, go ahead, Greg.
I would echo that as having participated on the team on the initial GR Forward. The thing that impressed me about that collaboration, I was a fairly new transplant at the time, and was hit by the culture here of West Michigan Nice that we all sort of joke about. But the corollary of that is, if clear is kind, then West Michigan Nice is unkind. And that process was one of the first times then and since that I saw real dialogue that was clear and therefore kind, and where there was disagreement and it was done well. It surfaced in that process. Haven't really seen it as much since. So I'm hoping that is side effect of this process is sort of that clear as kind conversation that a healthy city always needs and is ultimately kind, right? And it's one of the challenges that I've seen linger in West Michigan is that sort of cultural overhang. But just to echo, back then they were impressive. So if they bring that forward and they've only approved it, it'll be beneficial to the community.
And I think it'll help with the work you're doing internally.
I appreciate that. Very well said. The only other thing I was going to add in terms of coordination is, Mark mentioned the steering committee we're helping to build out. We'll also have call it a technical advisory committee. So we'll have representation from the city that we're communicating with regularly. That'll include planning, mobile GR, economic development, et cetera. So there'll be a lot of touch points for the city along the way.
Anything else? All right. I would entertain a motion to approve the funding.
Support.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Next to Mr. Kelly, you want to, if you don't mind keying this up?
Yeah, happy to do it. So this item is a development letter of intent related to the development adjacent to the soccer stadium. As you are all very familiar with, the DDA has been heavily involved in the forthcoming Amway Soccer Stadium, both in terms of providing some land, but then also helping to assemble and currently holding title still to the stadium property. And as you've seen, particularly recently with the snow flying, the structure's going up and it's starting to take shape over there. So looking really good, very exciting to see. They are still on course to be complete in the early winter of 27. So games will be opening up over there. So very exciting to see. But along the way, we have stayed focused on the opportunity of the development site just adjacent there. And so to kind of move that to the next phase and advance it forward, we are recommending entering into a letter of intent with Rockford Construction that will allow them to begin conducting due diligence on the site to bring forward a recommendation to this board in the calendar year 2026. During that due diligence, they'll be looking at opportunities to increase the density to kind of go along with both the recommendations in GR Forward as well as the Bridge South Plan, which you see here. And then importantly, they will also be looking at how to maximize the transformational brownfield incentives, which this site is a part of. So you'll recall both the amphitheater, soccer stadium, and then the adjacent development pads were included in that transformational brownfield. So we want to make sure we're maximizing that incentive coming to this project into downtown. That transformational brownfield was approved back in August of 2024, and so there is a 5-year clock on it. And so moving this forward now will allow us to kind of stay on track to realize that happening. These are just the numbers that were approved in the plan. I show that because these are the targets we've set forth for everyone, hoping they'll get there, but of course it'll be dependent on market conditions, on analysis and that. Just want to reiterate this will all come back to you if and when they're ready to make a recommendation to move a project forward, likely in the form of a development agreement. So I'll stop there, or maybe just one more thing to add. We are recommending Rockford for a number of reasons. Most importantly, perhaps, is that they are the general contractor on the stadium site, so they have a lot of understanding of just the coordination that will be required to move it forward. Obviously, they also have a lot of experience in mixed-use development on the west side, located downtown. And we think all of that makes them uniquely qualified to bring a project forward. So with that, happy to take any questions.
Questions? Yes.
Chair, just one question. This LOI will fulfill the requirement for MEDC to name the developer so we can move forward with capture?
That's right. Yep.
Okay, good.
Any other comments? Progress?
Progress.
All right, I would entertain a motion to approve what are we motioning? Your ability to sign
Approving the resolution.
the resolution?
Authorizing me to execute.
Okay.
It's right in the resolution
Yep.
itself.
Yes.
Okay.
So moved.
Support.
Did you have comments? ma'am?
No, I can ask offline.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that motion carries. Takes us to the executive director report.
Yeah, just a couple things to highlight. to year end. So first of all, thank you for all your work over the past year. We've gotten a lot done around this table in the past 12 months, and that's all due to you. So thank you for your efforts and continuing to support the work we have going on. A couple of highlights. Some of you maybe saw the Bamboo opening that happened last week. This is the old UICA space, right at Division and Wealthy, or sorry, Division Wealthy. No, Fulton, jeez.
City.
Yeah, had my streets wrong. So they have converted that to a co-working space. Bamboo has a couple of locations, also on the east side of the state. Last week they hosted the Midwest House Summit, so there was already a slew of people through there. I think in total they thought there were about 500 or 600 people through the doors there in 2 days. But just a great event. Cut the ribbon with Congresswoman Skolton, Senator Brinks, and a few other dignitaries. So good event, and just great to see that space active again. It was obviously a one that we drove by often and hoped that something would come forward. So good to see it. Good to see that project go. And then 'tis the season, so a lot of events going on. This is from the tree lighting and Santa Parade just before Thanksgiving. Huge turnout. Just a great time to be downtown. Along with that, skating at Rosewood Parks is back. So bring your skates or go rent some and skate around at lunchtime. The Christmas market is still going on up to December 23rd. So if you haven't been down there, go check that out. Bless you, James. That's all right, man. and then last but certainly not least, World of Winter gets started on January 9, and the team is already hustling to get stuff out. So we hope to see you there. Those are my comments, but happy to take any questions.
Any questions?
I know we all can't believe the year is ending. But it is.
Mr. Chair, just a quick comment. Are we there? Yeah. No, never mind.
Okay. If there are no questions for Tim, we'll move to public comment. Anyone in the public would like to step forward? Now is your opportunity. Seeing none. Board member discussion?
Yeah, I should have just mentioned, just so everyone knows, I do have a Smart Zone meeting at 10:30 this morning. Not today, it's canceled today. But so if I get up and leave 15 minutes early, if our meeting goes an hour and a half, that's why. So.
And I'll be joining the Smart Zone with Al starting in January, so I'll be leaving with him.
All right.
I think our legal counsel also
I
gets
also will be leaving. So, and
Wow.
Tricia will also be leaving.
Well, so noted. So I'll keep
have our target.
yes, exactly. Any other comments?
Go ahead, Mayor.
No, go ahead. Mine is trivial.
Well, I just want to say, since it's December, I want to say thanks to everyone who has worked so hard this past year. A lot of the work that goes into some of these transformational projects, a lot of people don't see. It's a tremendous lift behind the scenes. People go to the ribbon cuttings, but a lot of the work, as many of you know, happens years in advance. And a lot of that continued this year. Mayor, thank you for stepping in and carrying things on. And next year is going to be super exciting as some of the river projects move forward, the river restoration moves forward, the trails, the amphitheater, we'll continue to see the soccer stadium go up. But much of that is happening because of the work that's happened behind the scenes by a lot of you in this room. So I just want to say, in the spirit of the season, thank you. And, you know, I just always am grateful to be a part of this incredible city and community that makes things like this happen. So happy holidays.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Mayor?
I would tease Rosalind, but I'm not going to. I'll tease a little bit. I'll tease a little bit in the sense that I decided, I don't know, at a last thing a while ago, that I'm going to start referring to her at a college when you've got the prof who's the great mind who doesn't leave campus. The word is emeritus. So I've decided she's not our former mayor, she's our mayor emeritus. So I'm really glad that really glad that you're still engaged in all this stuff. And I'm just going to. This is me publicly strong-arming you to continue to stay engaged. So. I'll just tell a joke. A state rep who I won't name had a conversation with our mayor emeritus earlier this week, and then called me and said, I'm really flattered that Rosalind thought I understood all the things that she was saying, but I really didn't, so I got to figure out what the heck she was talking about. Anyway, so I'm really glad. I mean, I've just been showing up for the ribbon cuttings. I mean, I feel like this is, you know, I hope I move into points where I can be a useful contributor to the Grand Rapids vision, but at this point, I'm just taking credit for work I didn't really do. You know, which is part of the, it's maybe the least comfortable job of being elected, right, is taking credit for other people's work. Yeah, the only other thing I'll say in the spirit of levity is that I often worry that downtown gets disproportionate attention in neighborhoods. Lots of people do. But I noticed at this meeting for the first time that I think that this is actually a secret cabal of Heritage Hill neighbors too. So I think that Heritage Hill is probably steering the city's agenda far too heavily. We have to think about that in the future.
I would say just enough. Yeah.
You wouldn't know it though going to the Shop Hop. It's amazing in Uptown.
Yeah. I'm just looking around this board. I'm just like, I happen to know where people live. So anyway, no. So I I'll certainly echo the mayor's sentiments, and like I've been involved in dysfunctional organizations. I've been involved in dysfunctional moments and otherwise good organizations, and it really feels nice to be at this moment in this community. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of pulling in the same direction. I mean, there's, we've got friction, but I continue to hope we're going to be a national model on how to do things and ultimately how to make democracy continue to work. Because I don't think we've seen this level of churn or uncertainty in the country in a long time, but I'm not feeling churn and uncertainty in Grand Rapids, which is great.
Well said. Anyone else? Well, yes, Al?
One more thing.
Okay.
I'll just say that last month, the city and county teamed up to bring in Mark Funkhauser, who was a longtime publisher of Governing Magazine and a former mayor of St. Louis, Missouri. And he does nationwide consulting on helping boards, commissions, councils understand roles and responsibilities for elected, for appointed. And, I just think it's the kind of thing we can never learn enough about. I think we all can learn more about how we can be more effective. And so the county board had a session with Mr. Funkhauser, the city commission did, and then the staff of each got together and had a session. And then we had a reception in the middle of all that. And it was a good time. It was time well spent. And I think also just highlighted how close the city and county have come to work together now. So
I agree. Yeah, we have our moments, but I think the best thing that we do is come out of those moments with solutions. And I think that's the best thing that we do. So happy holidays, Merry Christmas, enjoy the snow.
Or sleet.
Yeah, all of the above. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Hello, and welcome to this live stream of today's public meeting, brought to you by Downtown Grand Rapids, Inc. Please stay tuned, and we'll see you shortly. Hello, and welcome to this live stream of today's public meeting, brought to you by Downtown Grand Rapids, Inc. Please stay tuned, and we'll see you shortly.